Welcome to the StockMeta.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your StockMeta Brian Johnson. I'm making professional trading simple. And the Bears had a little something to cheer about today, as we did see a pullback from yesterday's highs. Been playing around with the highs for quite a while, especially up there around the 1100 area on the S&P, and the Bears were able to see somewhat of a move down today, which gives them something to cheer about. But a small victory right now. We don't know where this is going to go, but still something to at least be watching here going forward, and kind of actually plays just like what we've been seeing in the Dow over the last few weeks. We'll get to that here in just a second. But you can see we finally broke this trend line here on the way up. I wasn't real happy with this trend line to begin with, but turns out it was looks to be very valid. We broke this trend line to the side, stayed right up underneath of it, retesting it as resistance before finally rolling over, coming back down. The next area, of course, I said was the 20-period moving average, then this below that. We broke both of those for a while. At the end of the day, had a little bit of a reprieve as we pulled back up and managed to finish on or at just below this particular support line here. So now the Bears, of course, the next direction for them is to drag it down to here, where it'll find support at this line for sure. On the Dow, I will guarantee it. Be very odd to see it just blast through here. So something I think drastic would have to happen. But if it continues to kind of trickle down and it actually makes this line, we will see somewhat of a pause or bounce here, I would say. We've got this trend line coming up. We've also got the 50 trailing it, 50 period moving average, and this previous support line here. So watch for the next line of support to be right down in here if and when it gets down there. Don't know if that'll happen. We may see another little poke to the upside here, because if we go to a daily, we can see here's that channel we've been watching. I said this is a very, very defensible place to get short here, and this was a very, very defensible place to get short here. But this action is acting precisely like it has in the past, and that's move up, move a little sideways, before finally moving down, move up, hit the top. See how this one had a little red candle? That moved down, then we moved back up, touched the top of it again, move sideways before finally giving up the ghost. This could, why not? I mean, why not do the same thing? So we see a little move down here. You can see where it is holding nicely to the 5-day moving average. That's what I have in there. A lot of people use an 8 or an 11. That's just fine. I like the 5, but you can kind of see it sitting up on top of the 5 right here. We'll see if it can hold that. For myself and my own trading, I'm looking for it to get below that. That'll be the next step. That's 10,174 on the Dow. Otherwise, maybe we see a little bit move to the upside to finish Friday. It is Friday. Everybody likes to be happy on a Friday. So we'll see if it can finish up ever so slightly for the week by coming up into here a little ways. And finishing there tomorrow. Maybe a little inside day. Only tomorrow will tell us. But from a bear standpoint, we'd like to see at least a couple more days of pullback here. So I'd love to see it break to a few more lows down in this area. Before pausing and then looking at where it might go next. NDX on a 60-minute, same thing, pulling back into support here. Sitting below, did close below these highs, so this is interesting. Once again, the Dow being the strongest overall of the indices, the Nasdaq coming back, and this should have held as very strong support. Did not, but it's only one candle, so we could see a move quickly back up tomorrow. I'd like to see some more confirmation of that. From a daily standpoint, rested right at or on this upper support line here and moved back down today. So bulls not able to keep it up and over that line. Even if they do, I'm looking at this overhead resistance right here at 1800, which coincides very nicely now with the weekly, and we can start to look at that very closely. Tomorrow is Friday. We'll see where tomorrow's candles closes. But if we see a push up tomorrow, can't imagine that this couldn't be very achievable to close the week right up here at this upper resistance point. SPX on a 60-minute, seeing it fall out. It was kind of the weakest of them today. Let me take a quick look and see. Yeah, S&P and Dow, the Nasdaq, all of them kind of looking a bit weak today, but the S&P definitely leading the way, and evident by its break of this trend line here. So it's back down below. This support line here, We'll see if it's able to hold. If it is, the bears are going to win another victory and maybe get that to pull back here into this 1075-ish area, 1076-ish area. From a daily standpoint, here we're back up to the orange line. Hit this upper resistance. I'm going to show you. Once again, I love a confluence of support or resistance. That's what we had right up here. Had a little move above it, little jab above it. I'll talk to you guys about that and be careful about that. And then, of course, today we saw the move down. So this resistance holding for the time being. We'll see if this can pull back to at least this area here. That would be a very nice pullback for the bears. And then any break of this would be of major consequence, I think, to the bulls. I'm going to move this line. If I move this blue line up and through, you're going to see it's going to coincide with this line and the 20-day moving average. So it breaks below that. It could get very ugly for the bulls at that point. Not sure I expect that to happen here tomorrow. But even a move back down here tomorrow would be a pretty strong move by the bears if they can get it back down there. From a weekly standpoint, once again, looking to maybe push up 1800 area on the Nasdaq, 1120 something area maybe on the S&P to retest the underside of this on a weekly basis. VIX on a daily, very nice move up in the VIX today, but right back to upper resistance with the 20 and the 50 period moving average. And on the weekly, also staying up now and above the 200 day or 200 week moving average. Once again, one more day to go. We'll see if we can manage to close up there. If it does, that'd put a very nice hammer. I don't know if that'll make ultimately a very large difference, just because it's the VIX. I don't know how much precedence I give to technical analysis on the VIX, but sure is fun to watch and seems to behave pretty well so far with what we've drawn in here. See where that closes tomorrow. Apple on